guys, welcome back to my channel. It's kaliMonroe and we are back with some more scary stories animated. We are with Broccoli Animations today and we've got two OnlyFans horror stories, so we'll just jump into it. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, join the community and I hope you enjoy it here. But let's just jump into the video.
Things are much different now than they were when I was younger or in my early 20s. You have access to anything at any time with just one click. And I'm not talking about information. I'm referring to something more. How do I say this? Regarding physical pleasures. I'm in my early 50s. I'm well past my prime, and as I look back at my pictures from when I was young and see girls I used to hang out with, I feel sad. My wife left me about 10 years ago for a younger, more successful man, and I was left here, alone in my small apartment, without even a phone call from someone to ask me if I was alright. One night, as I was on my phone, I decided to do something that was considered weird from my point of view. I clicked on the App Store and downloaded Instagram. I needed some socializing, and I didn't think I did anything wrong. I created a profile and added some pictures of me, and then I started to follow suggested people. I followed about 5,000 people over the course of the next couple of days, and I felt, well, a little less lonely in my small apartment. I started liking photos, and I could see how other people lived. They were happy with their families, or on vacations, living the life of their dreams. They all had such bright smiles on their faces, but me, well, I was in my own bubble, separate from people, and it felt like for me, time was standing still. As I was scrolling, one girl caught my eye. She was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. She had gorgeous hair and piercing blue eyes, and she posted a picture of herself at the beach somewhere. I started to look at her profile, and by the landscapes behind her, I figured out that she was in the same town as I was.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Without even thinking about it, I messaged her. I introduced myself as it was the gentlemanly thing to do, and I asked her how she was doing. I waited around hours for a reply, but nothing. I thought that she didn't see my message, but later, I saw that she posted another photo. So she was active on Instagram, but she didn't want to reply to me. I felt a little hurt. Why wouldn't she want to talk to me? Anyway, I kept looking through her profile and I saw that she had a link in her bio, so I clicked on it. To my surprise, it took me to another site called OnlyFans. I didn't know what this site was, but after some digging around, I found out what kind of content I could find there. My eyes lit up, but it all felt wrong. It felt like I was on some dirty site or something, so I closed it. But that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what kind of content can that girl...
I want to know how this is going to go wrong, because normally it's the people that have the actual OnlyFans that the horror story is about. So how he is going to... I don't know. I really am intrigued to see what's going to go wrong here. Unless she's fake or a catfish or something.
...have on there. So at around 2 a.m., I opened my laptop and I paid for her subscription. It was $7 a month. But that's when it all started. I started paying for her photos and videos that ranged from $5 to $10, and I wasn't thinking about the money at all. I didn't care. The more I saw her, the more I fell in love with her. It was like she was a movie star. That look that she had with her bewitching blue eyes really made my knees feel weak. It was official. I was totally and irrevocably in love with that girl. Her name was Megan, and she was the most beautiful creature that I had ever laid eyes on. On several occasions, I even paid for something special. I messaged her and asked her if she could do something in her videos. I won't say what while saying her name, and she agreed to do it. I began falling more in love with her. The way she was saying my name and the look she had on her face made me blow a substantial amount of life savings on her OnlyFans, but I already bought every picture and video available. As days went on, I kept thinking about her. Those digital portraits of her started to get a little dull. Like an addict, I started to crave for more. I wanted more. Not just things on my screen. I wanted to see her in person.
Oh my gosh.
Through a little digging, which was
He's
easier
gonna
than I
stalk her.
thought because the town wasn't so big, I managed to find out where she lived. I know, it's unethical to do, but I had to. This girl meant everything to me, even though she didn't know I even existed. One day, I followed her and saw that she had a normal job. She worked night shifts at a motel, so I got the bright idea to maybe rent a room in there and maybe spark a conversation so I can make her fall in love with me.
Oh my
I knew that
gosh.
she was the one
Is
for
he
me
serious?
and that we were destined to be together. I got into my car, arrived at the motel, entered through the front door, and as I saw her at the front desk, I dropped my bag. She was incredible. As I was just sitting there, I saw that a man approached her desk. I didn't like that. I spanned out of daydreaming and started getting angry. I marched towards them and I told the guy in a threatening and aggressive voice that I got there first. The man backed off, and then I turned around towards her. She looked a little confused about that little scene, but I knew that she was going to like me eventually.
She's gonna think you're crazy.
After some small talk, she gave me the key to my room and I went there to get settled in. In my bag,
There will be some blurring out in the video or editing for reasons that this is a family friendly channel. And yeah, so guys, if this video is chopped and cut up, then you know why. Just a little warning.
plan. I needed to get her into my room, and later that night, I went downstairs in my pajamas and I told her politely if she could come to my room because my AC wasn't working. I didn't know how to turn it on, and it was really hot. With a large smile on her face, she said she would help me, so we both went upstairs. She went in the room first, and as I was behind her, I closed the door and locked it. I know you like them, I told her while smiling. The girl was confused. She turned around and asked me what the hell do I think I'm doing. I proceeded to tell her about her OnlyFans and that I am her biggest fan. I knew she and that's why I brought them. She was uncomfortable and tried to leave the room, but I stood there in front of her. I tried to calm her down, but she started to act violent and she slapped me. That's the moment when I snapped. I slapped her back and she fell on the bed. I got on top of her and I held her arms while I explained that we were meant to be together. I loved her and she will eventually love me.
Wow.
The girl screamed, and all of a sudden, I could hear someone knocking on the door. It was one of the guys who work there.
Good.
I told Megan to shut up, but she was screaming even louder, so the guy unlocked the door. He had a key. Then, he saw me on top of his colleague, so he pushed me off. He then punched me a couple of times, while I was still focused on Megan, asking her why she wouldn't love me. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground. The guy pinned me down before throwing me out of the motel. He said that if I would ever go near her, he would kill me.
He's a sicko.
The next thing I knew was that Megan deleted her Instagram and OnlyFans, and even quit her job at the motel.
How selfish
Even though it was a small town,
of him.
I never saw her ever again.
How selfish that he made her go through all of that and sacrifice all the things she was doing just because he couldn't control himself and he wanted to meet her in real life. And yeah, he needs to get help. He needs to go and get serious help because again, that's just crazy. But let's jump into story 2. That first one was mad. Yeah, let's just watch this second one. What?
I got home and went to the room, tired after a long day. My girlfriend Kara walked up to me and kissed me. She was home early today. "How are you?" I asked. "How was work?" She shrugged. "The same old boring stuff, you know." I pecked her on her forehead and reminded her it is only a matter of time before she stops working. Soon, I will make enough for both of us. It is a good thing I enjoy my job, I thought to myself. I couldn't imagine being cooped up in an office for 7 hours and not enjoying it. I headed into the shower and heard Kara rustling about downstairs. She had prepared dinner, spaghetti and meatballs, and it smelled delightful. "Clark, I'm opening an OnlyFans account," Kara said, glancing back at me as I entered the dining area. I sat beside her and asked her why. She told me it was because she needs something to keep her entertained. She said her colleagues told her about it, and it seemed fun.
Oh,
I told her to go ahead as I dug into the spaghetti and enjoyed my meal.
what?
Throughout the meal, Kara didn't even bother to look at me. She was so engrossed in whatever she was typing on her laptop, but at least she was smiling. She always mentioned that she hated her job, and she was sure that if not for the pay, she would have quit a long time ago. I was glad that she was doing something she enjoyed. She looked relaxed, as opposed to how she usually looked when she came back from work. We both have corporate jobs with good pays. We've been living together for about 5 months now. Everyone talks about how much in love we are. It was nighttime, and Kara was still typing on a laptop. I told her to come to bed. She barely looked at me before she shook her head in the negative. She told me to go to bed without her. I kissed her and went to sleep in order to get well rested for the next day. My alarm woke me up, and I turned over to see Kara beside me. I kissed her forehead and she stirred. She smiled as her eyes fluttered open. "How are you? You're looking extra cherry this morning. I wonder what happened over the night." She giggled. "Nothing. I'm just having a lot of fun with my account. It's nice. I get to connect a lot with people, and it's been a while since I felt entertained."
Why
I
do you
pecked
keep
her
saying
cheek
entertained?
and stood to get ready for work and told her I will make toast for her. I was ready for work, and Kara wasn't out yet. I called for her, but she didn't respond. I went upstairs to check her, thinking she was in the shower. I saw Kara still in bed, typing furiously on the laptop, and reminded her that she would be late for work. I came back home to meet Kara in bed. She barely mumbled a hello to me before getting distracted by her laptop.
So she's not moved?
It has been a week since she got her account,
Oh my
and
gosh.
all she does is stay on her laptop.
Wow.
I confronted her about it, but she told me I was being ridiculous. She told me she loved only me. I got angry as I ate dinner alone. I wondered what she was doing exactly. I took my laptop downstairs and fired it up. I went to OnlyFans and browsed and checked Kara's account. My eyes widened as I took in her different pictures.
Oh, wow.
She had taken a lot of pictures. Most of them were very seductive.
So he didn't
Blood
know.
rushed to my head, and I felt lightheaded as I continued to see her in different poses and clothes. I decided not to tell her anything and just went to bed instead. The next day at work, I continued to go through Kara's page and hardly got any work done. I noticed that a rash had formed on my hands and I scratched it absent-mindedly. I didn't know why I still didn't tell Kara that I could see what she had been up to. I kept having headaches that even painkillers did nothing to cure.
Oh, no.
And just yesterday, I discovered that my back was fully covered with pimples. I couldn't understand why I was having physical reactions to the emotional pain I felt.
Stress.
I went to bed knowing I wouldn't get any sleep. I'd been having trouble sleeping since I started following Kara's account. I couldn't eat well also. I felt so miserable.
That's
The
bad.
next day was a Friday, and I got back from work feeling exhausted. "Kara, I'm home," I called out, and got no response. I wondered where she could be. I was on my laptop, solemnly going through Kara's page again. The page refreshed itself, showing there was a new post. That's weird. She only posts when she's home, I thought.
She's out.
I froze as the video played. She was held in chains, tied up, and she definitely hasn't carried this to a higher level, has she? Shutting the laptop closed, I began to panic as I thought of the fact that Kara could be cheating on me. I shouldn't have
someone's
agreed,
abducted
I
her.
thought as tears rolled down my face. I felt shattered. I heard my phone ping, as I stood up to drown myself in alcohol. I picked it up and saw a message from my friend Pete.
I knew it.
Check your girl's OnlyFans account.
I absolutely knew
She
it.
has been kidnapped. What? Kidnapped? I don't understand. I panicked as I rushed back to unlock my laptop and watched the video. I saw tears rolling down Kara's face as she struggled to get free. Most of you might think this is a new level to Kara's videos. You thought wrong. He started as he walked to the front of the camera. He was masked. You know what? I was one of you, a subscriber. Then I decided I had enough of the teasing and I should have her all to myself. I sent this a message, but she declined and blocked me, he said angrily and slapped her. I flinched and my jaws tightened. How dare he slap my girl like that? It's been 2 hours now, and the only thing I demanded was a private live show. But she denied. Don't you think this should be punished, guys? I will kill this with my bare hands. Well, to the main business now, the final stage of her punishment. He brought out a shiny knife and went behind her. Say goodbye to your fans, baby, he said as he removed the gag from her mouth. Please, just let me. She began to gasp for air as he cut her throat at one slice. I watched as blood spluttered out the neck of the girl I loved as she struggled and gasped for air. The police, they did manage to get a hold of that man eventually. He was sentenced for life. It's been 2 years since that incident. Thinking of that day still gives me chills and nightmares.
Wow, so those two was really something else, and I feel like they were quite I don't even know what the word is, but let me know in the comment section if these stories animated were scary, and what do you actually think about what happened in the videos, because I'm kind of shocked. But anyway, if you haven't already, please press that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel and join the community, like this video, and let me know in the comment section below again if you're here and if you've waited till the end with me. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. Wherever you are in the world, please stay safe day or night, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.